Hi, and welcome back to the very first episode of the Rooed Table Talks. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. It's actually a revamping of our Empowered Wellness Talks that were started back in 2019, I believe. And we had a few of those, and those were to bring you more information to help you in your health journey from a lot of health experts in the health and wellness field. And now what I want to do is I kind of want to go out in the community, bring you lots more information coming from our grocery stores that are rooted in a lot of homemade foods from our local farms, and also to be able to bring you some more cooking shows. I'm not a seasoned cook. It's something I've learned along the way, and plant-based eating has made this something that's made it very enjoyable, and I'm excited to bring this to you. So if you kind of remember, our very first episode started earlier with Kristen, who is the owner of 185th Produce. And I had an exciting time last week being able to go out and visit with her, learn more about what they're doing, how her family acquired the business, and be able just to kind of look and see what the real foods are out there and what we're getting from our local farmers and our local produce that is being able to get to you, and seeing things that are in season. And I don't know if you remember, we picked up things like the rutabaga, we picked up a golden beet, we picked up some turnips, picked up some parsnips. I actually picked up some carrots, and so we're going to put together an awesome recipe that is some roasted vegetables using these really underrated, not the carrots, but the underrated vegetables like the rutabaga, the parsnip, and the turnip. And also I picked up some celery roots. So this is something I'm excited. I had to read up a little bit about it. I know I've read some of it, but I wanted to find out how we could use it, and it's going to be able to make a lovely dish. We're going to make some roasted vegetables. It's just a simple dish. It's something you can meal prep ahead of time. It's something you can add to a side dish to something you're having. So if you're not fully plant-based, or if you're looking to go more plant-based, it's a great way to add in some good nutritious vegetables and also some great fiber, some things that's going to be able to help you get some more some more vitamins and minerals, and lots more some antioxidants, some more fiber, like I said, and help you make you full, but get in lots of great vegetables that are in season right now for the winter time. So what I've done is I went ahead and washed these up. So again, we're going to start with the golden beet. She had some other ones there, but it's one that I've never actually really worked with a lot. So this is something I'm excited. I'm going to go ahead and just cut up a little of the bit of the bad ends. Just to be honest with you, it's been a couple of days since I went shopping, and Super Bowl Sunday was this last week, so I didn't really have a chance to start doing this, and I wanted to be able to videotape it for you. But go ahead and just tell you a little bit about myself. I'm Stephanie Clazo. I am the founder of Clean Food Mama. Really excited to be able to be with you on your health journey. I myself personally have been on a health journey for about 10 years and started going plant-based. So May of this year, it'll be 4 years. And it has been an incredible journey that highs and lows and everything in between. But I wouldn't have not be here if it wasn't for the journey that I've been on. And so I'm excited to be able to help you with the tools and tips that have been helpful in my journey. I've been about 170 pounds down since I started my journey. More for about the 4 or 5 years for that. Ups and downs on that too. But it's been something that's just really been on my heart to be able to share with you the things that have helped me, and know that there's a way to get life with a wonderful plant-based diet, and know how many amazing foods you can get, and that your family can enjoy them too. So again, like I said, if you are just starting to get some more vegetables in your life, or more plant foods in your life, get some ideas on how to get those, or you fully want to go plant-based, I can help be your guide, and I'm excited to have you here. So we're going to go ahead and start, again, like I said, with the golden beet. I'm hoping that you can see something, so I'm going to do my best. I don't really have a videographer right now, so I'm kind of taping these myself. So I'm going to go ahead and take a large knife here. Again, number one, you want to have a sharp knife. You want to have one that you feel comfortable with using. I'm going to go ahead and cut off some of the bad parts that were on this one. But one thing I noticed, one thing that's helpful, I'm going to tell you in the kitchen, is having a wonderful scrap thing to be able to throw those in. So if you compost your vegetables, or if you're growing your own gardens, or if you just want to be able to save these for scraps, because sometimes a lot of the vegetables that you cut up are great for putting together and putting it in the freezer, and you can throw them into making a broth. So that's a wonderful thing too. So I always try to save our vegetable scraps or whatever I'm cutting up to go out into our compost bin, so we can start growing our tunnel garden hopefully soon. So that's something I'm excited about. But I'm going to go ahead on the golden beets. I'm going to go ahead and keep the skin on. Again, the skin is something that has a lot of the fiber and a lot of your nutrients in it. So certain foods you don't want to keep the skin on because it doesn't really taste good, and or maybe they're just too rough. So like a pineapple or something like that, you want it. And again, a celery root is going to be one I'm probably not going to because you can kind of see that it's got lots of things. So we're going to treat that one like the pineapple too, kind of. But for the golden beet, I'm going to go ahead and start chopping vegetables. So my goal is we're going to go ahead and roast these vegetables. I've got some balsamic vinegar here, and I've got some spices here. I've got garlic powder, onion powder, rosemary, black pepper, and some dried parsley. You can use fresh parsley if you want to garnish it afterwards. I just didn't happen to have any. But it's something I'll pick up when I go to the 185th produce next month too. But so I can have those, add those. Those are going to give some extra flavor that we're going to put in our dish. But again, I'm just going to go ahead and start chopping this. And I'm going to put them into cube sizes. The reason I want to do that is because I want to make them where we can get them, where we can eat them. But also, oh, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous inside? Oh, that smells good too. You know, it's got, sometimes I think on the red or beets, the purple beets, a little bit more stronger flavor. I'm going to say this one is not as strong. So again, when you're cutting a thicker vegetable, you can do size dice like this. This will be good. You want to kind of make them uniform. So when they're cooking in the oven, you will have more of a uniform cooking time. And so everything gets cut. I'm sorry, everything gets good cooked. I'm going to begin by throwing everything that I cut into this bowl because this is where I'm going to add all my spices and mix them together. I have done where I kind of sprinkle on that, but I like to mix it with the balsamic vinegar. That way everything can get coated. So I'm going to go ahead and put them in there. So I'm just cutting these up. Again, number one, safety, right? Chop them to the size that you, or ice them to the size you prefer. I love these colors. These are just amazing colors. I'm actually currently taking the Forks Over Knife cooking course. So my cutting ability is not necessarily one that you might see in a chef class. So this is one thing I'm going to be learning a little bit more, but so far it's always worked for me. Again, I washed all of these vegetables ahead of time. You can peel the skin if you want to, if that's something that you're not used to eating. Most of the time that we cook potatoes or sweet potatoes or anything around here, we always keep the peel on. Again, extra added fiber and added nutrients. And a lot of times the flavor is in the peel, and sometimes the flavor is not in the peel. So that's something you might not want to add to it. So again, I'm going to get some of these. I've noticed some of them are a little bit larger. So what I will enjoy doing is going back and visiting 185th Produce every single month, bringing you information about the foods there. And one reason I like to do that is Kristen and I met a few years ago, and she is just a 100% supporter of doing things and being able to bring in local foods from farms, and I love that. And I love that her family is enjoying doing what they're doing. So if you ever want to follow them on 185th Produce, follow the amazing posts that they have. She will go live in the store. They just recently got grapes in. It's just exciting to be able to see somebody so excited about fresh produce, and I love that. I love that. I love that she does it with her husband and that they work together. So again, I want to be able to do that. And then hopefully this summer we'll be able to go out closer to some of the farms to be able to bring you where the local food is grown. So let's get these guys cut up. So this was nice. It's almost soft. It's a pretty soft, not extremely hard vegetable to cut. I only had one golden beet. I just picked up one of those. And then the next one I'm going to have is a turnip. Again, lots of vitamins and minerals in these. And this one I'm not going to peel either. The skin is pretty thin, so it's not, but it also has a good flavor in that. Again, if you choose to peel it, that's up to you. One thing you want to do is when you're careful, especially when we get to the rutabaga, is that you always want to make sure that you're cutting them on a surface that is safe for you. So if it's something that you can't get it to be held down, you would always make sure you cut off the ends, which I did on that one, and you'll cut off the ends. It also helps you to have it held down straight, but also I don't usually use the ends on my food. Cut those off, put it in there. So anyways, got that. You can leave it like that, but because we're doing diced, I'm going to go ahead and go a little bit smaller. That way they'll cook evenly. But I was watching a video one time, and the person did take their turnip and their parsnip, I believe, and they slice them and then they boil them like a potato, and then they puree them. So there's lots of different things you can do. These are also, root vegetables are such a great way to get in more vegetables. Again, not a lot of people are something that they use frequently like you might a salad, but another great way to do it is you can put them in stews. So that's another wonderful thing too. That one smells good. That kind of reminds me a little bit of the, I'm going to forget what the food is right now. I'll think of it in a second. It's the white one that's in the store that you can buy cut up a lot of times. I better figure it out. So then we can get those cut up. Get those added to that. Again, we're just adding them to a bowl right now. We'll mix them all together. So now, actually I think I have a couple more turnips here. I grabbed a few of those. So turnips are going to have the purple and then the white, whereas the rutabaga actually does have purple on some of them. It's a little bit thicker there. When you open it up, it's going to be more of a yellow. I was talking to my mom, and she said that when she was growing up, they used to eat them all the time. And they had them as, my grandma would roast them all the time for the rutabagas. And I know growing up, my grandma was an amazing gardener. She has the most wonderful green thumb she did. And so I know whatever she did, she made amazing foods. I didn't get those already. So I just kind of scrubbed the vegetables a little bit, cleaned them up as best as I could. Again, that's where if you're not used to eating with the peel, that's up to you. Just trying to make life a little bit simpler here. Go through the fast of all this cutting here. My idea is to get them not so thin, so they're thick, so they'll cook together. And I've got the oven preheating at 400 degrees. It looks like it's ready to go. I started it before I started the video. But since this video is recorded and not live, I would love to be able to know what are some of your favorite root vegetables. What are some things that you enjoy cooking with? What are some ways that you enjoy making them? Do you like them in stews, soups, or are you like them roasted? Is this something new that you're working with? Rooted vegetables. If you follow me long enough, you'll know that sweet potatoes are my favorite, and particularly Japanese sweet potatoes. But when I was talking with Kristen when we were going to come visit her last week, I was like, well, what vegetable do we showcase? Because there's so many wonderful ones that she has in the store. And that's when we decided to kind of do the underrated vegetable of the parsnip, rutabaga, and turnip. Just because, especially with the fact is we're in season with those, is people in our area where we live here in the Pacific Northwest are getting ready to start growing their gardens and putting those together. Usually March and April in our area, we'll put them into the containers for the seeds to start and move it out to the garden. So it's also a great thing if you're interested in growing. Okay, so the next one we're going to move on is to the parsnip. I have a bunch of notes here that I have created from some research that I've done on the different vegetables. So I will include those in the show notes below so you can have information about them, maybe ways to cut them, ways to use them. and different ways that you can cook them, but also the health benefits that come along with them. Because number one thing about getting plant foods is the amazing nutritious foods is also being able to eat delicious foods, but is the nutrition that you get with eating those. And that is my favorite thing about being plant-based, is knowing that much of nutrition that I'm adding to my lifestyle, to my family's lifestyle, and then being able to share it with you. So the one I'm going to talk about right now are the parsnips. These guys right here, I'm going to go ahead and cut off each end. They're pretty light. Again, I'm going to keep the peel on these. They suggest the younger ones that you can keep the peel. Again, it's up to you. They're going to come about, this is about the average size that I get. I don't usually get too big ones. I've seen bigger ones. One major thing that these have the health benefits is they're all rich in fiber. All these guys are. But then they also have a great vitamin C, which help boost your immune, and then also vitamin K. So these are good vegetables for that. So if you're looking to get in more foods for those, again, cut off the ends using my little scrap container. I love this. Oh, I do love the smell. You know, except when you're sitting here next to a carrot and a parsnip, right? And you got the kind of the same color. Now this is just a carrot that's more of a white carrot, but yeah, you can definitely, they do sometimes smell like the carrots a little bit, but these also work great. You can make these thin. So I've got the little guys down here. I'm going to chop these a little bit bigger here because I am going into the dice of the other vegetables, which is the same thing I'm going to do with my carrots. Just because, so they're going to be a little bit more round until I get to the end, but I'm going to cut a little bit bigger. Because again, I don't want some of these to burn and the other ones not to cook. So I'm going to leave those all round. I might not keep that guy. I got 2 parsnips. Cut those up. I'm cutting them, make about 1 inch. That one was a little bit. Okay, like I said, it's been a couple of days since you can cut these in quarters. Or you can keep them in rounds, they'll probably cook as well. So you can cook those rounds. Throw those color in you want. My favorite thing is not chopping, if you can tell. But I know it's the means to the ends to get these wonderful foods in my body and whoever I feed them to. So this is a rutabaga. So one thing is somebody does suggest with the rutabaga is that you do take off the peel. It's a little bit more coarse. Some people might not enjoy it. And because it's the first time we've really eaten them in many, many, many years, I am going to go ahead and peel these guys. So I'm going to grab a peeler. I can also peel it with a knife too, but which ones might be better for me right now. But anyways, go ahead and cut off the ends because you can see that's a little bit harder there. And so it's a little bit more yellow than what the parsnip is. Sorry, not the parsnip, I apologize. For the turnip is. You can even kind of see it. Kind of reminds me of the inside of what a ginger is. Definitely not. Oh, that is a good smell. But, so I will go ahead and just peel off. Now, I read that obviously this is the safety, especially if you have children working with you, is to make sure that you don't cut yourself. Just kind of slowly go. Is that you can also microwave these for about 5 minutes just to make them soft enough to be able to just, literally this would just peel off. So I'm not going to do that this time, but you know, I'm still maintaining the fact that you don't want to lose all your vegetable. And the fact that we only have one here, I'm going to slightly, but they suggested about 5 minutes to microwave it, which will soften it, which is another key tip on doing sweet potatoes if you're looking to peel sweet potatoes, whether you're using them in as a dessert or something and you don't want to peel on. Might look like I'm near my fingers, but I'm not near my fingers right now. Okay, so the celery root is going to be one that you are going to get off all of the outside of that. Number one, it's not the most, I'm not going to ever say a vegetable is ugly, but it's not the most attractive vegetable that you're probably going to want to not eat the outside. Okay, so then we're going to move on to carrots, because I'm going to do the celery root last. All different kinds. You got your typical colored carrots, and then I have purple and white. I do love having different variety. So on all of these, I'm going to cut off the end. Again, I'm going to leave the skin on my carrot just because I love, again, adding the other extra fiber. There are some that are, I'm going to cut these guys. Hopefully the video doesn't sound too loud when I'm chopping. I was doing my snack bar class, and I realized every single time that I moved a glass or did anything, it was clank, 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 but you don't hear that until you watch the video back. But like I said, everything in the kitchen that I do in my home is something that is made for us to cook. So every single dish you've ever seen on the blog was always made for us to eat as a dish. I don't cook on the side for videos. I don't cook on the side for making content. It's all what we eat in our home, because we are the taste testers, but also because that's just how it rolls in our family. If we're going to be cooking it, we're going to have it in our house. So you might not see every single recipe that you might on a couple of other blogs, and that's just because we are still diving into the world of plant-based, even 4 years later. And I want to make sure that my family enjoys it so they know that you can enjoy it. And knowing we all have different tastes. Oh, I love, these are my favorite, because look how beautiful those are. I love that. I am one that gets excited, and I hope you do too, of just seeing the beautiful colors in the foods. They make me happy, they make me smile, but I also know that our bodies are happy and smiling inside them to get those too. I never once thought that I'd be so excited about a vegetable. And I think the one thing that has been really helpful in my journey that I would share as a tip, the more that you move towards eating the whole foods, the plant foods, the more your body will crave those, and the more you will get the actual real taste of them. To the fact is that your body will get adapted to those foods. And this carrot, it's not looking too pretty on the end, so we're going to shave it a little bit. Which I could be using a peeler, but to be honest with you, my peeler and I have not been friends lately. So it's either I need to get a new one, or, because I don't use peel a lot, so it's, maybe I just need to hone it, but my skill. But the more that I found, the more plant-based that I went, or the more that I ate towards eating whole foods, vegetables, beans, legumes, is that I started feeling those. The taste of those is what I craved, and my body started craving. And I get excited to see a salad. I get excited to taste a sweet potato, and those are the foods that I gravitate towards. Not because I'm like, oh, I have to eat more healthier foods. No, I actually want to eat more healthier foods. And I've noticed that in the last couple of years of going plant-based is that if I'm out, and one tip that I have is we recently went on a trip back in October to Kansas City, which is usually very well known for lots of barbecues and stuff. And there were lots of wonderful, wonderful vegan restaurants that we were able to go to, and we had family members that live in that area, so they were able to kind of get it all prepared for us to go ahead of time and plan all of them, and made sure that we were able to enjoy foods out, which I'm so grateful to have family members that do that for us, even though they're not vegan. but was the fact is that I was so excited to see the salads there. I was excited to be able to get to the fresh foods, but then I was also very excited to get home and eat the foods that I cook at home, because those are the ones that I actually crave the most. So just to let you know, if you find that your palate starts changing, that you start enjoying these foods, then I just see that as a benefit and something that, welcome to the club. Just continuing on, and I'm hoping that you're able to see a little bit. I might have to turn it a little bit down. This one, I'm just going to cut that one in half. It's a little bit bigger there, and So just getting yourself a good chef's knife, a good knife that you find easy for your cutting, that you enjoy. If prepping these vegetables ahead of time is something that makes life easier for you, then I go ahead and suggest that. These guys are this size. These were not carrots that I picked up at the 185th produce. They happened to be just one I had in the refrigerator, and so I did not. They're chopping a little, that one isn't so good. Chopping a little soft, which tells me I had them a little bit too long. So now we are to the last one, which is the celery root. And I'm going to go ahead and clean this up a little bit. So the celery root, again, it's kind of like, well, it's got lots of, it's a root vegetable. It's definitely, you can tell it's a root vegetable. Is they suggest you peeling or cutting it like you would instead of trying to peel it with a peeler, because it's not going to probably do very well, especially with the little ends here, is to peel it like you would a pineapple, you know, so kind of going down the sides. So I'm going to first chop off the end, because you've got to get the, so you're going to have a lot of these guys here. It's a little dirty. It was one I really couldn't clean too easily. Cutting those off. And I'm going to wipe this guy up as I go along. And then I'm going to wash it off before I put it inside there. But you get to the point where you're cutting off those. So you're going to have, you don't want all this little guys, the little, it's almost like a hairy. And then you're going to get down to where it's kind of what you might think is you see, or kind of like ginger, or the little cells is what it kind of looks like. And then those, until you get to the flat, I'm just going to kind of cut around it. Same as I kind of did the rutabaga. Not too difficult to cut. I'm not having to press a lot. But I'm also not getting a lot. But again, I didn't get a very large one, because this is really the first time I am working with celery root. Read up on it a little bit, so I had a little bit of information and did a little bit of research on the internet on it. But it's, again, great for soups. I've heard people putting it on, chopping it up and sprinkling it on top of salads. But I also thought that celery root was known for adding salty flavor to food. In my cooking, I don't tend to use a lot of salt, because I try to eat low salt diets. So if the salt, you know, there's salt in the foods and that kind of stuff, but I don't add salt to my dishes. I don't prefer salt, and I try to do a lot of more SOS free foods. And I have found that in the last couple of years of my health journey, that has been very beneficial to the added weight loss that I wanted to get my last 50 pounds that I had recently lost in the last couple of years. And even though I have more that I want to continue losing, be it SOS free, and I just find that I don't really care for the taste of salt too much. So I'm not one that is going to go sprinkle salt on top of things, but if you do, it's, oh, that smells good. But I'm going to go ahead and wash this off really quick, and I'll be right back. So I'm back. Not the most beautiful, but I have definitely made a mess on my cutting board. That's when you know they're a root vegetable, right? get that all into there. So then I'm gonna go ahead and just chop this, just like I'm doing everything else. I'm trying to tell you what it smells like, if you haven't ever had it. I'm still thinking of that other white vegetable. And I will have that figured out for the end of this. That I know I've seen it large. I purchased it at the 185th produce last time, but I also sometimes when I'm in the store will buy them where they're already cut up, and they're great snacks. They remind me of celery. Well, that smells good. I think that's going to be a really good addition. Again, kind of the color of like what a mushroom might be. Again, adding in these root vegetables are just amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and look at my notes on the celery root just to give you guys a little idea. So, okay, so like, yeah, they said talk about how in soups and stew, the celery root can add the depth of flavor to soups, but it's also, celery tastes like it enriches the overall flavor. But it's great for raw and salad, so you could grate it on top. That's what I was saying. You could grate it on top, and I watched a video where you could grate it on top also. And then it has a crisp texture and a nutty taste. Oh, I'm excited about that. You can also puree them. But yeah, a lot of people don't really think of celery root. Again, I don't know if they sell them in every single store that you might see. So again, they do sell them at the 185th produce, so I was excited. That's, I think, the neat thing about whether you're going to your local produce stand, your local farmer's market, is that you're getting the vegetables that you don't always see in your mainstream stores. And that's the wonderful thing is eating in season, number one, is great because you're getting foods that are more fresh, right? And they don't have to travel for very long. But also eating local is the benefit of not having them go very far, which means that they're going to last longer by the time you get them home, to be able to cook with them. And then you also have the ability to have them not go so far, so they are more fresh. So I'm going to grab myself a wooden spoon. Just going to mix them all together. So I've got everybody cut up in here, all the different colors. If you wanted to add some more colors, you might have been able to add a beet, a golden beet, a regular beet. I've got Brussels sprouts here that we're going to probably add to it also, but I'm going to do those a little bit on the side. I like to add a squeezed lemon on top of my Brussels sprouts, which reminds me, I will grab that out of the refrigerator and be right back. So many of you know that a lot of whole food plant-based usually does not cook with oil. Same goes in our family. We have not been cooking in our family for probably almost 4 years since we went plant-based to not having oil, which was a challenge, right? Because every single time we would cook before we went plant-based is all of our dishes, the first thing you did is sprinkled oil into your pan. So that's one thing we don't do in our home, and it's actually a lot easier than a lot of people think to be oil-free, and it's a lot easier to cook. And I find that I love, number one, I love that I don't have the messy pans to clean up. I don't have the oil going to my bodies, adding extra inflammation to my body. My sink has never loved me more since I don't have oil. Again, clean up everything, just wonderful. Makes my dishes, to me, personally taste even better, because at the point when you go and remove yourself from eating oils, you actually, I've gone to a restaurant where it was you could tell there was oil in the food, and that's all I tasted. And I'm like, I cannot get to the taste of the amazing food themselves when I'm having to comb through all the oil that was in them. So I prefer, so one key thing is broth. You can make your own homemade broth, like I said. Not the celery root would not be a good thing to have in your broth, but potato skins, leeks, using scraps from your onions, using scraps from garlic, all that kind of stuff are wonderful things to stick into your freezer, leave them in there, and then put them in a little baggie. And then one day just throw them into your pan along with whatever you're doing, some bay leaf and all that, and let it cook, and you have a broth. Or buy your favorite vegetable broth. There's some great low sodium broths. Pacific, I think it's Pacific Foods has one. Great way to be able to be oil free. And then also I love using things like balsamic. or a sauce, or mushrooms and onions that automatically leak, not leak, but they get a lot of water when you're sauteing them, right? So they keep the pan from sticking, because a lot of times we just use the oils because we don't want our foods to stick to the pan. And or using pans that we try to use always non-toxic pans in our home, but getting pans that don't stick to that too would work too. So I'm mixing these all up, so when I do go ahead and throw them. Okay, the beautiful thing about being able to record these is that when your camera decides to tell you you don't have enough space in there. So, again, beautiful. So we're gonna go ahead and put this all out onto a baking sheet. Again, we've got the oven preheated. You can add in, if you didn't feel like it mixed up, I think it's gonna do good. You can add the balsamic vinegar afterwards too. So number one, what you wanna do is, so what that did is that took those spices, instead of letting them go into the bottom of the pan, it put them all over the vegetables. So the number one you want to do is get these all out evenly so they can cook evenly. They look so gorgeous. See if you can see them. How beautiful they look. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I'm loving these colors. I noticed when I was buying outfits for the fall time, that is the benefit of losing some weight, is that you get to go shopping for some new clothes. But was the colors of the fall are just gorgeous. I love them in foods, I love them in clothes, I love them in the trees, but we're in winter time now. But these vegetables are so amazing. We have nice sunny weather out right now. You can't see it where I'm at in the kitchen, but beautiful sunny weather as I look out over, just seeing it. And we've had rainbows lately. It's just been beautiful. Just showing how wonderful. So I got these coming out from our snow season last month, which again, if you're looking for stews or soups, these would be great to help keep you warm. So if you're living in an area that still has a cold, I'm not gonna say we're too warm here, but we definitely have sun today, but I'm a happy, happy camper. I'm looking forward to the summer. I told Kristen when I was visiting her, I'm so excited to come out and see her when it's berry season, because that is probably my favorite season of foods. Which here, strawberry season starts around the end of May, 1st of June, and then I think we go into blueberry, then blackberry season. And then my son's favorite season will be watermelon season. We can't get enough watermelon seasons, and Kristen told us that they get boxy watermelons that are supposed to be really good, and so I'm excited about those. So those, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put them in the oven. Even though my second wraps get over but have enough time to cook, and we are going to cook those for about 35 to 45 minutes. So I'm going to be back once those are done. I'm not going to hold you on here for 35 to 40 minutes more. I shouldn't say that while they cook. And so I just wanted to tell you thank you so much for joining our first Rooted Table. Really actual cooking, mixing with this video will be added to the interview that I did with Kristen, and then just be able to show you these foods, how you can eat them, how you can enjoy them, and help give you nutritious food. So I'll be back when those are all done cooking. Okay, so those had some time to cook. I'm gonna go ahead and put it down here. I don't want to lift it up, it's a little hot. Took it out of the oven, about 30 minutes. It worked in ours. You can test to see if they're soft. You know, enough to crunch into them, so good. Again, the texture that you prefer to have them at. So you can let them cool down for a few minutes and then add them to a bowl like this for serving. Mine have been sitting out for a few minutes here. You can see the rosemary that is on top of them. So to add a little bit of flavor. Again, you can go ahead and add a little bit of the balsamic to the top if you want a little bit more flavor, because one of the best things that we have, I think that is on our website, is called the roasted vegetable pasta. It is so good. And we use eggplant, zucchini, and carrots. And it's literally pasta cooked on one side, just with your whole grain pasta or your chickpea pasta, whatever you use. And then add in the roasted vegetables, so the similar is to this, where these are the root vegetables. And then I just put balsamic on top, and that's literally the dish, right? It's so amazing. You can add in your spices if you want. So this would be actually really good in a pasta, I think. So you can just take a my long spatula, add it to this. I'm gonna tell you, my kitchen, I wish we had a smell-o-vision on the video, because this is smells so delicious. Love the colors, love that it's getting, so just adding this to a container. You can literally eat this plain, right? This is a great dish, a great snack for kids after school, moms, dads, whoever, adults. It's a great dish to bring to a gathering. So if you're wanting to do a roasted vegetable dish at a gathering that you're having, but it's also a great dish to enjoy on as your side dish, as your main dish, whatever you prefer. So one main dish that we've enjoyed that I'm working on, just a cute little thing is I'm going to be doing a cookbook. Finally 2 years in the making to finally get that done. Hold myself accountable to the end of the year to have that published. But we do mushroom steaks that are so good. So that would be the main dish in replace of your meat items. So good. Marinated mushroom using portobello mushrooms. Absolutely amazing. I've used non-portobello and used baby bella or cremini mushrooms that were so good too. So I'm just adding this to there. Again, it just makes a beautiful, beautiful dish. Sit on top. You can drizzle some balsamic on top. I'm gonna try to get them all in here. The rosemary is smelling absolutely amazing right now. And so is the balsamic. The balsamic's smelling good. The, you know what would actually be really good is, I think sauteing some mushrooms inside here would be amazing too. Onions, mushrooms, oh, getting myself too excited. Pan's still a little bit warm. Gentle there. Love this little pot holder. I think we picked it up at a local craft store, a local craft bazaar. Beautiful. Anyways, amazing. So good. Oh, so good. Okay. So I believe this is it's really hard to tell now, right? This is definitely the golden meat, I believe. So good. That's good. Definitely has a little bit different flavor to it, but it's so good. All these mixed together are gonna be beautiful. Again, adding a balsamic if you want to do a little bit on top. I have our little balsamic that we use here. You can add a little bit to the top if you wanted to just sprinkle some. Just to add a little bit more flavor. I wouldn't probably do very much because we already have it cooked in there. Add on top, and then you just have your wonderful roasted rooted vegetables. So thank you so much for joining me in my very first episode of the Rooted Table Talks. And it started off with an interview that we had with Kristen down at the 185th Produce. Excited to be able to bring you more interviews, more information, and more tours of the store, and lots of talks about the nutritious and delicious vegetables, fruits, and other items that they have. So they have some local products that are brought in by different companies, and a lot of mom-owned businesses and women-owned businesses that I'm excited to be able to showcase there, that are all part of a healthy, whole food, plant-based diet. And then also, I'm excited to continue to bring you the Rooted Table Talks, which will also maybe include interviews from the 185th Produce, other local farms and produce stands around our area, but also bringing you some cooking classes, some cooking shows, and showing you how to just make simple whole food, plant-based recipes. No oil, no refined sugars and lots of salt-free options, but then also bringing you information to be able to help you get healthy, wholesome meals into your family, into your kitchen table, and to be able to help you get more plants on the table. I'm excited to be able to help you do that. And also coming in a little bit down the road is going to be bringing you in some more guest experts to be able to help you for the whole entire healthy lifestyle, because I know it's not just about nutrition, it's about bringing in other things like good sleep, getting in good exercise, and maybe those aren't my specialties, but I'll be able to bring those experts in to be able to help you there. So I'm excited to be able to help you get more plants into your life and be able to be along your journey with you, and hope that you have an amazing day.